I am Dr. Paneerselvam.
My dear friends, this video is going to talk about the economics of microfinance. Microfinance, you know that it is upcoming a tool, upcoming program to attract the lender as well as your receiver. The lender who is now has become the corporate. Initially, they were like a trust or maybe like initially it's an organized body. Now it becomes a corporate. Now, what's economic implications on these two operators? As far as this the group that is known as the women group is really hailed from this poor community or poor kind of economical background. They come for this program to avail the financial facilities. Why they have gone to these microfinance operators? Because the accessibility and the availability becomes so limited with the banker as well as your indigenous like money lenders. So when she went to main lenders, it was so expensive. The family also found it more expensive. When she is in the microfinance group, she also finds it this more expensive. Then when she knocks the door of the bank, it is inaccessible and the transaction cost is heavy. So she was searching for some other operators. So either fortunately and unfortunately, she has come across a lender in the form of a professional cap. Now again, we look into this economical scenario of this receiver. She hardly needs working capital as well as capital investment, but she is refused to take capital investment because she cannot repay immediately. So she can access only the working capital, which could be now presently is about 1 lakh or more. See, now when you talk the ordinary business, always a very simple arithmetic calculation says that is when your receipt, when your profit excess your investment, excess your cost, then that is known as a profit. If they are both equal, that is known as a break even, and when you don't recover your investment, it is nothing but a loss. That everyone knows. But now I think, no, economically speaking, if you just peep ahead, put your glance, put your lens on seeing their performance, what's happening in their vending business. Because they are all vendors, because they are not very competitive and monopolistic or monopoly. It's just they are selling their product in the competitive world. Maybe like agri product or non-agri product, or maybe like a service oriented, where she cannot compete because she has to accept the ruling price. So now let us come to a point where she gets a loan of, say, the Migro, we could call it as a Migro, which is charged here at the rate of, say, about 24 to 20x, 26. So when you calculate the entire cost involved in it, it goes to be around, say, about 28 to 30%. That is the effective rate of interest, which she has to, or they have to bear it. So now you ask any one of the businessmen or any one of the trader or service or any vendor business people whether it is possible to earn more than 30% from their business. It's quite impossible. Everybody, it is a universal fact and nobody can deny and nobody can dispute that they can earn more than 30% of the business. But how the people can repay, because that is a scenario where we live in, for which a committee has been constituted by the apex body like Reserve Bank of India and many bank operators came to the conclusion that they have to be charged at the rate of, say, about 26 to 28%. Now today I think, no, there are microfinance, it is hidden, maybe like NBFC microfinance or NBFC. When you go to NBFC, any percentage you can charge. Now the cap is also been lifted away, and the board committee or board people can decide how much they can charge. So it becomes so competitive. Initially it was from 24, now it is open to sky. And when you are the microfinance lender having the two caps like NBFC microfinance and microfinance, I think you can put the people that is loaned. The poor people who were with their own fund or borrowing fund from the neighbors or maybe like a money lender, now we become completely burdened with a lot of credit. That is as far as you are the so-called the poverty stricken. And also we don't go to the poorest of poor, because poorest of poor, they cannot afford to manage a financial crisis. So they have been isolated. The people who can afford, the people can do that. But where the money goes, well, the money goes either for productive or unproductive. Most of the money goes for completely for unproductive as well as a productive. Why? Because they give the weightage between, say, about 30-70 or 40-60, something like that. Because she has already been overburdened to repay the costly rate of interest. She will keep some money, the family keeps some money to repay the burden which is sitting on her head, on their head. So, as a whole, when you just look into your calculations or your charter of accounts, what it say that they are purely, strictly, not strictly, that is more than that, universally they are incurring loss in their business. How it is then possible? Because she has a roll of money, because she has been rolling, circulating, revolving, that's all. She sees the money, but that is not her money. She sees the money, that is not her real money. That is as far as the economic scenario of your receiver as well as the buyer who was giving an enormous profit to the corporate. Okay, let me come to the corporate. So corporate, they have been given a rate of interest which will not only take care of her funding cost and operational cost and risk cost and the return of cost and profit. Everything is taken care. And as far as the funding, they will always look for wherever the funding is available, the minimum price, whether it is a bank lending or institutional lending or equity, they will search for the minimum rate of interest kind of funding, either from terms loan or subsidized or equity. So finally, they have money, they will be liable for the external people, and their own money will be proportionately negligent part. But in larger extent, they'll have enormous profit, not only liability, and the liability will give them multiple profit. Whereas when you come to these consumers, the receiver, they will have only liability. Whatever they earn, it will not be treated as a profit. Again, that will go off to repay all the debts. So when you find the equilibrium between the two, the demand and supply, the tangency says that the corporate will be less liability and more profitability. Whereas when the receiver, they'll have always been living on liability. The Nobel Prize is given, awarded for this program to reduce inequality in terms of having money, not profiteering, not gaining, not excess money in their hand to offset that poverty-ridden kind of world. So once we come back, the corporate is maximizing profit and the poor community is giving money not only for the corporate and also for almost for all the corporate operators to earn maximum profit. That is a situation where the microfinance economics says, that is maximization at the cost of minimum delivery or minimum kind of service rendered, not in terms of alleviating poverty, but to retain the poverty. That is the economic scenario which we are facing today. That is known as microeconomics, and microfinance economics in reality.